Hello, fellow TIs. When you're dealing with threat actors, role players, people which are utilizing discretionary actions, committing prosecutorial misconduct for refusing to help you, you have a moral duty to exercise your constitutional rights. I encourage TIs to utilize law libraries. Law libraries are a great asset to TIs. First of all, they're normally open to the public and in every major city. If you live in a small town, you may want to look at the nearest city close to you to see if there is a law library. Most law libraries will provide free access to LexisNexis and Westlaw, and by utilizing these free resources at law libraries, you save money, you save a lot of time doing legal research. Let me give you an example. If you don't know how to use the indicators in Westlaw and LexisNexis, which are required to do legal research proficiently, you can just simply type up targeted individuals and get a listing of many different cases. You're going to want to study about legal citation, basic legal research. If you do not have any money, you're going to want to look at getting an informa proprius. The court may not know what that term is when you go to like a clerk of court. So just ask for an indigent packet. They'll know what you're talking about. Tell them you're looking at filing a tort, and if you're going the federal route, ask for an indigent packet there for a tort. If you're going to your court on a state level, city level, just ask for an indigent packet. So every state is different. So I'm just trying to make it easy for you so you'll understand. And there are many free legal aid clinics, but some of them, they take a long time. Some of them may not even take your case. So you can be working on your case while you're seeking help from legal aid. There is also a great resource for TIs which do not have any legal training. I've spent a few years studying through Auburn University. I took a course through the University of London, and I have certifications through LexisNexis and Westlaw, so I can actually teach TIs how to sue, but that would take a long time. So you're going to have to do your own legal research. I'm just trying to share some things that may help you. One book that may help you is called the Jailhouse Lawyer's Manual. While this manual doesn't apply to TIs because we're not inmates, there is a lot of information in this manual which would be very beneficial to any TI, especially TIs which are facing entrapment on a daily basis. In a situation where you're framed, this information has helped 3 TIs get out of trouble. So I hope you check out that PDF called the Jailhouse Lawyer's Manual. It's for free online. Just do a Google search. Now, my thing is gang stalking. I know there's TIs which have other issues which I'm not familiar with or do not understand, but I sympathize with you. I encourage TIs experiencing covert torture and harassment to check out the PAX International Shielding Manual. Just do a Google search for it, PAX International Shielding Manual, and this manual may benefit you. For TIs which are looking at class action lawsuits, if you do not have any credible evidence in accordance to the federal rules of regulations, not federal rules of evidence, then you don't have a strong case, and your case will be dumped by the court. Why do I know? Well, I used to do paralegal work as a volunteer, so I encourage TIs to sue, but you need to have evidence. Without evidence, you can't sue. So there is, in the federal rules of evidence, It's called, the term is, it's a routine practice or approach. And this federal rule, if you add it to your lawsuit, it'll look really good if you're able to show proof that the organization you're dealing with is presenting a pattern or practice which is systematic that can be utilized under the federal rules of evidence. So I encourage TIs to just go online and look for, it's called Rule 406, Habit/routine practice. And it states in this rule, evidence of a person's habit or organization's routine practice may be admitted to prove that on a particular occasion, the person or organization acted in accordance with the habit or routine practice. The court may admit this evidence regardless of whether it is corroborated or whether there was an eyewitness. That's Rule 406, Habit Routine Approach in the Federal Rules of Evidence. If you're in a situation where you don't have a car, you don't have the resources to drive, well, you're going to have to utilize your cell phone. I meet a lot of TIs online in different groups, especially on Tor, where we're not censored, and they ask me to do their cases, but it's not easy. This is something that, for some cases, you're talking about thousands upon thousands of hours. So, if you have nothing to do, why not do your own legal research? Now, if you just have one case, it may be simple as investing 20 hours. But if you have a case where you've been systematically harassed for years and you've been harassed by a lot of stakeholders, then those cases take a lot of time. Now, while I'm talking to you, I'm actually typing because there's another book that I encourage. I think it's called the Federal Rules. Let me see, my God, I should know it off the top of my head. Federal Rules. Let me see. Yeah, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Now, you're going to need that book if you're looking at suing the federal government, because there's these rules and regulations concerning time frames, how to mail things. So you're going to want to look at the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Let me see here. And you should be able to find it online, or you can buy the book. I think it's like a few bucks. You might be able to find it for, $5-10. You can't find it online, a PDF, but I don't like squinting my eyes. And there's cell phone magnifiers where you can put your cell phone in there and it'll magnify it by 10 inches, but it's just better to have the book. So people which are TIs may find themselves in a situation where they're denied their civil liberties because they're being labeled a legal threat, they're being labeled an insider threat. The enemy utilizes so many different terms to justify their operations. And when you're a soft target, you are being treated as an active shooter threat, a terrorist. And this is what's really odd about this program, is that they target people and harass them in schools, beaches, communities, airports, on flights. I mean, it's unreal. And they try to drive the person to insanity. This is what a U.S. Air Force retired nurse told me. She confronted me. She was paid to stalk me. And she felt bad, and she told me. See, the CIA has like remote nurses, different, it's amazing how many resources. There are groups which are larger than a city or town's police force. Let me give you an example. Here in Orlando, they have large amounts of contractors in many cities and towns, so it's very easy for people to have money to access these groups, to go along, secret societies, etc. So when you're in this program, you really need to arm yourself with the Word of God, prayer, and work on building yourself up. If you're in a state where you feel bad all the time, well, guess what? If you don't do nothing, you're always going to feel bad, and you have to learn to deal with this. And when a person is stressed out, their blood gets thicker, so their heart may flutter more. So drink water, exercise a little bit. Even if you have to walk in your backyard or a small nature trail, walk, do something, get sunlight, get vitamin D. Get out, get sun, drink water, eat healthy. So I feel so bad to know that there are so many people that are being enrolled into this program. Veterans. I was reading an article a while back that the Army was actually flagging its own people. And I've met a lot of ex-U.S. Army. I've met all types of people from different backgrounds. And some of these people, it's concerning because one of these guys in the Army is a blaster. Some of these people are, they're angry, they're furious, they're losing their families, they're getting divorced. Some of them have been to Congress. One guy I talked to a while back, one of his relatives was in a case involving the Secret Service, and he was targeted after a comment towards a congressman. He didn't agree with a certain bill, so the congressman had him targeted, and the Secret Service went to his place, and afterwards kids were throwing trash on his property. Him and his wife couldn't, work things out. He couldn't perform well in bed. He was harassed on the job, and they made it look like he was the crazy one. So there is just so many evil people within our system. I see some politicians comparable to a whore because they will go along with this program, and this program sometimes helps some of these people which have investments with contractors. So it's pretty disgusting, and the government's trying to prevent this. People within the government are trying to prevent people within the government abusing these resources secretly, because it has been occurring, and it's enriching people. When I was in Austin, Texas, this is no joke, many of my perps drove cars that were like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 cars. Fancy Porsches, antique Porsches, some of them over $100,000. And some of these people, when I ran their backgrounds, I couldn't believe it. They've done like CIA work. They've worked for defense contractors. And the police said that these cases are civil. And the problem that I had was, how do you sue someone when you don't know who's hiring them?